Before today's battle, I have to say that we've got to mourn the loss of a fellow YouTuber. Pokemon Name Raider told me, but I just could not believe it. He said, if you don't know yet, Jeremy31428 has quit YouTube. Jeremy. Why? He was such a great video maker. Why, Jeremy? Why? And now here's your crappy Wi-Fi battle. Okay, I've got a battle here against timpjee or something like that. Anyway, he sends out something that's caliente, and I send out whatever it's called. And he's like, I'm going to toast you because I am caliente, and I'm like, no, you're guts, man. So he decides to try and heat up my Arcanine, but Arcanine's already hot enough. And then Arcanine just goes and crunches his incoming James, and I'm like, oh, come on, I just talked about how many people there are on the internet named James, and you're going to bring out a wheezing named James? So now I go for a Flare Blitz, and since I'm max attack because this thing was awesome when I caught it, I mean, it had a freaking perfect attack IV when I was chaining, and, yeah, let's just say this is the only one I caught, and it's adamant, so yeah, it's got max attack. Anyway, he brings out his Magmortar now, and I'm like, well, I'm probably dead now anyway, so I just go for an extreme speed to see how much it does, and it does over half, which is good, and then he decides to focus and blast me, and then I get a critted, and I die. Don't think that mattered at all. So anyways, I decided to let him feel the buzz, and I thunderbolt him to death. So yeah, Caliente is now, como se dice, cold? Anyways, I decided to switch out into I See You, and the only version of cold I know is for outside. Hace frio, anyway. He decides to give me some tea since it's cold outside, and yeah, the tea somehow paralyzes my mouthless Regice, and my mouthless Regice is somehow able to eat leftovers. So I go into a sub because why wouldn't I? And then he gets his fake wish, heal, whatever, and I decide to just start resting because the tea was so nice and hot and whatnot, and it's so cold outside. So now I decide to go back into whatever its name is, and he tries to encore, but it doesn't work. So I trick him to make him think that the Choice Scarf is awesome because it's cold, and he needs it more than I do since I'm Steel type. And he gives me some tea, and I'm like, ugh, whatever. So he decides to bring out a Snickers bar now, and I'm thinking, okay, if you want to, I'll have a Snickers bar. So he decides to punch Ice Punch or whatever, but since it's cold outside, obviously. And, well, since I thought I could live this, and he somehow avoids my attack of seeds, so yeah, that was dumb. I should have gone for aromatherapy, and this battle might have gone differently near the end, but whatever. So now Electabuzz comes out, and Electabuzz is like, bolt you with thunder. And it's still cold outside, so he decides that he wants to feel the buzz, and he punches Electabuzz, and then he gets staticked, and he's like, wow, I feel the buzz! So I bring back the Electabuzz, and I go into my Jinx, and he switches to his Horror, and I'm like, why did Jeremy have to quit? And then he decided to throw my Gold Digger up into the air and back into the ground. So now, after eating some leftovers from the tea earlier, he brings out something that has no name, and I figure, well, Ice Beam's probably going to do more anyways, so I just go for an Ice Beam, and Epic predictions him, and he dies. So yeah, his Sceptile gets one-shotted by a Gold Digger. Kinda sad, isn't it? So my Gold Digger decides to move around and gain health back, and then Zangoose comes in, and I'm like, yeah, Zangoose is win, but yours isn't choiced, so it fails. So I Ice Beam, and he barely lives, and then he slashes me in the night. So yeah, the Gold Digger has had her wish. She didn't get any gold, though. Anyways, he eats leftovers, because that's just weird. And I bring out my Electabuzz, because I figure anything will kill it, and then he brings out his Horror, and I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to Hidden Power Ice, I don't really care. So, his Hidden Power Ice doesn't necessarily help because it's cold out, and then he decides to try and toss my Regice Ice. And yeah, that's not good. So, I'm asleep, and he decides to toss us again, and I'm asleep. So I'm figuring at this point, okay, I'll wake up next turn. And then he says something else, and I'm still asleep. What? So I eat more leftovers, and I finally wake up this turn, which is weird. I didn't know that you could rest for more than 2 turns. So, I decided to Icy Wind. I was going to rest there, but I guess he told me not to or something. I don't know. I didn't really feel like keeping Reg's Ice that long, because Reg Ice is just... it's not going to do much anyways, considering what he has left. So, I faint, and now I go into my Noodle, and he seismic tosses, because that's just what he does. He wants to shake hands with my Metagross, but he just throws him up in the air because he's so strong. Whatever. So I Meteor Mash to see how much it'll do, thinking it'll probably miss, knowing my luck. And then he switches, and I just go for an Earthquake because I figure, well, I don't like Meteor Mash's accuracy. So I Quake the Earth and kill off the stupid Snicker bar thing. I'd make that commercial reference, but whatever. So the Snickers bar goes down, and then he brings up this thing that's apparently Wind, and I'm like, well, he's not choice banned, so I bet I'll live a close combat. So he close combats, and I live, and I Earthquake, and I kill off the Zangoose. So now he's only got his Clefable left, and I'm like, awesome! I can live a Seismic Toss, and then I can get off a Explosion and kill it. Or so I thought. So he Seismic Tosses. And, of course, I get paralyzed. God, I love this game. So anyway, I decide to just stay in and die because I don't really feel like switching out and losing. So, now I bring out my Feel the Buzz, and he feels the buzz as I Thunderbolt, and I critical him, but I don't think that mattered. Well, he says it mattered, but I don't know. Anyways, good game. Sorry about that. I mean, it's kind of sad when a thing like that just decides the entire game, but whatever. You can't really deal... you have to just deal with it. Also, I said crappy Wi-Fi Battle because I was trying to make an homage to Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. And now here's your crappy anime cartoon.